Okay, I've started the recording. Okay. So what we are going to learn today is the phase lock loop. And the basic concept of phase lock loop is that we want a kind of a circuit. There will be an input to the circuit Vi, there will be output to the circuit Vo. Now this Vi is characterized by some certain frequency Fi, for example, and Vout is characterized by, let us say, Fo. Okay. Now, when I say that Fo tracks Fi, means even if Fi changes, Fo will remain fairly stable. By tracking or following Fi and correcting changes in Fo. Are you able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
So what we have here is the output waveform is compared to the input waveform by means of a phase detector. We are going to see, these are this is the block diagram of the basic PLL system. So how many blocks are there? Phase detector is there, you have the filter, you have the amplifier, and you have the voltage controlled oscillator. That is the reason why we have studied voltage control oscillator before this topic. Okay. So what is happening? What we want to do is that we want to keep this Fo nearly constant. Okay, even if Fi changes. All right. And how does it happen? The output waveform is compared to the input waveform by means of what is called as a phase detector. This phase detector detects the difference between the two signals and converts it into what is called as a control voltage. This is important. So whatever is the difference between the two waveforms is converted into an equivalent controlled voltage. And this control voltage drives a voltage controlled oscillator. Now we have already studied voltage controlled oscillator. So what do you mean by voltage controlled oscillator? What do you mean by VCO? Guys, what is a VCO? Your input is voltage and output is, or change in voltage, and output is change in frequency. We have seen that, no, last time?
Yes, sir.
So this phase difference, which is being converted into voltage, which is filtered also to remove the noise and to remove the changes. We just want a DC out here. This VE is called as the error voltage, which is amplified, and this amplified voltage is given to the VCO. What will happen if this input control voltage of the VCO changes? It will try to change the frequency. It will try to change the frequency of the output signal. And this change happens up to what point? Up to this FO becomes equal to Fi.
Fi.
When FO will become equal to Fi, what will happen? The error voltage will be 0 and this will be maintained.
Yes.
So what we have here is called as a lock. So output voltage, output frequency is then locked to the input frequency. Are you able to understand this? And
Yes, sir.
whenever Fi changes within a certain limit, FO will also follow that Fi because it is locked. That is what I'm saying. It tracks the changes. FO tracks the changes in Fi. Are you able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us go ahead. So drives a VCO which generates the output signal VO. Now there is typically a 90 degrees phase difference between input and output signals. By the way, you must have learned somewhere what is the equation for a sine wave? B is some A sine
Omega T.
omega t plus phi. What is this phi?
Phi. So this is
This
the
is the
phase difference.
phase difference or the phase shift.
Yes, sir.
So if you look at this completely, this looks like a combination of omega is what 2 into pi into f, that is frequency. So frequency and phase are both closely related, and that is what affects the signal, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to understand this? Yes, so if I detect the phase shift, I will be in a position to generate whatever is the phase difference. I'll be able to detect the phase difference by measuring the phase shift. Okay. So typically there is a 90 degrees phase shift between input and output signal or signals. Any change in this phase difference produces an increased or decreased control voltage to VCO. So now do you agree to one thing, that whatever is the phase difference which is detected by the phase, okay, whatever is the voltage that is generated is proportional to the phase difference. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now the change in control voltage changes the output frequency to correct the phase difference. So that what is the end required result? So that the output remains phase locked to the input. This is very important. And that is where the name is derived from, phase lock loop. All right.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we are going to see each and every block in detail. But before that, we must see how is the change in the frequency and the change in the phase difference and the corresponding change in the error voltage. So again, I'll be drawing some figures out here. So please be patient. So now there is a correlation between the exact ages, and that is the reason why I have to be very accurate with the drawing of these figures. Let us say this is a bipolar signal. This is your VI, input voltage. This is from 0 to pi and 2 pi. So we have Pi, which is the period of the signal. Let us say this is the output. There is a slight error in the period here, but let us go. You can understand that. Okay, this was your VO, output voltage. Complete this more we require. Okay. All right. And then we are going to see what is VD. VD is the phase difference. So again, you see the output that we are going to get is something like this. So let me draw some vertical lines. Okay. It's very, very tough basically to draw the lines. Okay. So if you look at this carefully, we are going to get a signal which is going to be seen like this. So do you see any pattern there? Guys, while I'm drawing, do you see any
Yes.
pattern?
Yes, sir.
So what is that pattern? Can you tell me?
In first figure, we see a phase difference.
That's fine, but the output output waveform. What about the output waveform? Do you have any logical relationship between the first and the second waveforms? That is Vi and Vo, which is reflected over here. Think about your digital electronics. High and low. So this is going to be your VD. Can you think of any gate which produces this? Input is high. I mean, both these are inputs actually to that phase
Yes.
difference, isn't it? So this is your phase detector. This is your Vi. This is your Vo. Of course, you have got that feedback from somewhere out. Okay, and this is your VD. So can you think of a gate which does this? Look at the levels. Does it follow something like 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, and 1, 1, again 0?
1, 1, 0. Yes, sir, it is following that order.
This should be 1. Is it following this pattern?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is this gate?
The
This is the
XOR
XOR
gate.
gate. Okay, so XOR gate
XOR.
Yes.
is nothing but it will act as a very good phase detector. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Now, how come?
Yes, sir.
Let us say if the phase difference is here, in this case, this is the phase difference phi. Okay, we know that this is your TO, period of the output signal. So naturally, if the phase difference is more or less, this waveform, how will it change? So basically, first of all, let me tell you what kind of signal is generated as the error signal. The error signal is nothing but a DC value that we want. So we'll see that. So this is the error signal that is generated. We'll call this as VE. This is, remember, this is again the ground level. So if you have the output signal like this, later on it will be converted into this. That's fine. But first of all, understand that what will happen if the phase difference is more or less than whatever is shown over here. Obviously, let us say if the phase difference is exactly 90 degrees. Okay, now I'll be drawing a rough figure because now we have understood. So this is your VI. VO, let us say, is having exact 90 degrees phase shift. Okay, this is exact 90 degrees phase shift. Phi. Okay. So in that case, what will be the output? Tell me. The output will be something like this. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Now remember that this is your ground level. So in such a situation, what is the DC content of this signal? If this peak and this peak are same, and this is a binary kind of a signal, what will be the DC value? What is the DC content or DC value? DC content is equal to what? 0.
1.
0. It's like this. You have a sine wave. What is the DC
Yes,
content
sir.
of a sine wave? What is the DC content of a sine wave?
Zero.
Pure sine wave. It is 0. Similarly, DC content of a pure square wave is also going to be 0, provided it is binary, bipolar. Okay? And this was your error voltage.
Yes, sir.
This was your difference VD, and your error voltage is now exactly 0. So it coincides with the 0 line, ground line. Okay. Now let us see another situation. Remember that this is a bipolar signal. Remember, it's a bipolar signal. All right.
Yes, sir.
And you have, let us say now, okay, now if the phase shift is like this, let us see what happens. So how do you estimate the output to be? Again, look what is happening. So now the phase shift is more. What do you see? What do you see the? Do you see the change in the pulse width here?
Yes, sir.
Now, if the change in pulse width is more, what is going to be the DC value? See, on time is more rather than off time, so it is spending more time in the positive region, no? So naturally speaking,
Yes, sir.
your VE will be a positive value. VE would be a positive value. Error signal or error voltage, isn't it? If you find out the DC
Yes, sir.
content of this signal, it is going to be a positive value. Now, if the phase difference is less than 90 degrees, what is going to happen? How will the output waveform be now? See that? So now, what do you see? Remember again, this is the DC line.
Off time is more.
So you see that this now the DC value is going to be negative. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now I can see that the phase detector, which is nothing but your XOR gate, can generate. So to summarize, 90 degrees phase shift. For 90 degrees phase shift, VE error voltage is going to be 0. For phase shift, greater than 90 degrees, VE is going to be a positive value depending on how much is the phase shift.
Greater than 0. Yes, sir.
And for phase shift less than 90 degrees, your VE error voltage is going to be negative. But that is what you should understand. ठीक है ना? Now let us see
Yes,
the
sir.
PLL components in details. That is the XOR gate itself. We have already seen the XOR gate. I need not tell you exactly what exactly is the XOR gate. Okay, we have already seen how the phase difference will be there. Let us quickly see the characteristics of the XOR gate. So characteristics. Of XOR gate as phase detector. So now you have understood one application of XOR gate also, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So if I draw I want to understand the characteristics. Let us say I start with 0 and here you have pi radians. That is 180 degrees. So we have the phase difference, okay, in radians here on x-axis. On y-axis, we have the error voltage. All right,
Yes, sir.
error voltage on y-axis. So how will the curve look like? The transfer characteristics we have seen. So it's going to be something like this. At exactly 90 degrees, so this is pi by 2. I am having error voltage equal to 0.
Zero.
For phase difference which is less than 90 degrees, it is negative. For phase difference more than 90 degrees, it is what is positive? The error voltage. So this is
Error
the
voltage.
error voltage. So this is the characteristics of the XOR gate. Interestingly and importantly, the ratio of error voltage to change in phase is what is measured. See, for any block, any circuit, we measure when we talk about the transfer function or the characteristics. What were the characteristics? For example, in case of let us say a MOSFET. Okay, the input characteristics of MOSFET. Like this, no? So you had VGS
Yes.
and you had ID,
ID.
ID.
isn't it? And we said that GM is
Delta ID upon delta VGS.
isn't it?
Yes,
So
sir.
we have this factor here. Similarly, here in
Yes.
this case, we have a factor which is also a ratio, which is a ratio of error voltage, that is VE, to change in the phase. Okay, and that is called as KD. It is given as error voltage VE divided by change in the phase. And the units are what? Volts per radian. And this is called as the sensitivity of the phase detector. ठीक है? So
Yes, sir.
what is KD? KD is the sensitivity of the phase detector. So when do you say that the phase sensitivity is more? When that
When
ratio
error
itself, KD itself is more,
Yes, sir.
isn't it? Okay. So this is one thing which you should know. Now there is something called as phase frequency detector. So like phase detector, this circuit also produces error voltage, which is proportional to the difference between the signal, signals, except when FO is less than FI. So just like phase detector, we have the frequency detectors also. So in that situation, error voltage will be maximum when FO is not equal to FI or less than FI. If FO is equal to FI, error voltage is 0.
0.
All right. And when FO is greater than FI, your error voltage is negative.
Negative.
This is positive. Okay, so they are interchangeably called as phase or frequency detectors. Then the second component that we have seen is the filter. If you look at the block diagram, this one.
Yes.
So what is this filter doing here? What is it supposed to do? What is the output of your phase detector? The output of your phase detector is something like this, no?
Yes, sir.
And you are supposed to extract the DC content.
Yes, sir.
So what do? You apply a low pass filter.
Low pass filter. Yes, sir.
So what is the simple low pass filter that we have seen, which is not even an active filter? A simple
Capacitor.
RC acts
RC.
as a low
Yes.
pass filter. So if your input is like this, your output will be somewhat, so nearly this is the DC value. Are you able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then the third component that we have is the amplifier. The function of this amplifier is to simply increase the error voltage to the level which is required or expected by the VCO. That's all. Okay. So it's just an error amplifier, just an amplifier, voltage amplifier. And the most important heart, let us say, call it as the heart of the PLL, is the VCO. And we have already seen what is a VCO, where a DC value or voltage controls the frequency
Frequency.
of the output signal. All right, we've already seen this. Now VCO also has one factor called as K naught, as you must have guessed by now. It is a change in output frequency with change in
In voltage.
input voltage. So this is also called as a VCO sensitivity. And units are hertz per volts.
Hertz per volt.
This is the VCO sensitivity. All right. So these are the basic
Yes.
building blocks. We have already seen what is a VCO, so I need not go into more details. Now let us turn our attention to PLL performance factors. Will it be okay if we exceed a little bit into the time?
Yes, sir.
Right? I hope you don't have any problem with that.
No problem, sir.
No problem, right? Because Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday lecture, I'm having a problem with that. We have some other workshop. So, of course, in the evening we may conduct that, but I don't want to keep anything pending. So, we'll try to complete VCO completely today. ठीक है ना?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, a very small portion later will remain. Specifically the peak detector, sample and hold, and the signal conditioners that we can complete within 1 or 2 lectures.
And
Next.
so for the unit number 6, the presentations which you have uploaded only.
Yeah,
that
it's my
much.
lecture only. It's my lecture
Yes.
only. If you have seen, it is my lecture
Yes, sir. Yes.
which I have recorded. So that should be sufficient. We won't be having any extra thing for that.
Okay,
It
sir.
should be more than sufficient, in fact. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So
Okay,
let us look at the performance factors. A, the loop gain. called as AL of a PLL is the gain from phase detector input terminals through the phase detector filter amplifier and VCO back to the phase detector. The loop gain. Okay,
Yes, sir.
this is called as a loop gain. Now input to the system is the phase difference phi between VI and VO.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
So, your voice is breaking in between. It's not clearly audible.
really. Is it okay now?
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir.
Better than.
Well, I did nothing. Maybe there is a. Okay, anyway. So it's phase difference phi between VI and VO, and the output is VCO
So voice is breaking, sir.
frequency change delta F. Am I audible?
Sir, your voice is
Yes, sir.
breaking again.
Um, what can be done? I don't have any problem with the net here. Net is working fine. Okay. Am I audible?
No, sir, not
Yes, sir,
clearly.
you are audible, but your voice is breaking in between. And also, sir, if you are writing, also, I think the screen is also has frozen.
Okay, I'll try to reshare the screen.
Yes, sir, please.
Is the screen visible now?
No, sir.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so what is the loop gain? We are trying to find out the loop gain equation for the loop gain. So what is the loop gain? It is a gain from phase detector input terminals through the phase detector, filter, amplifier, and VCO back to the phase detector. Here we have input the system is the phase difference between input voltage and output voltage, and the output is the VCO frequency change, delta F. So I can write AL. The screen getting updated.
Sir, you are not audible.
So
Yes,
So
so
your
your
voice
voice
is
is.
breaking, sir.
okay, I think I'll rejoin.
Yes, sir. There is some problem.
Then I'll stop the recording. I'll Okay, and am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just changed my network. Let me share the screen
Yes,
once
sir.
again.
Now the voice is clear.
Okay, now is the OneNote page visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as I said, we were trying to find out the loop gain. So loop gain can be given as K into D into AV into K into O or K naught. So what is KD? We already have seen what is KD is the phase detector
Yes,
sensitivity.
sensitivity.
KD is the voltage gain of the amplifier. So what are the units of KD? Units of KD are volts per radian.
Per radian.
AV doesn't have any unit. It's volts per volt, so it's unitless. And KO, what is KO? It is a VCO sensitivity, mostly given in kilohertz per volt. Okay. So what is going to
Yes,
be?
sir.
Okay. So what is going to be the overall units for the gain? Overall gain units, volts per radian into kilohertz
Kilo
per
volts
volt cancels. So the units are going to be kilohertz per radian.
per radian.
This is going to be the unit for the overall loop gain. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
All right. So if the VCO free running frequency FFR, let us call it as FFR, is exactly equal to input signal, frequency of input signal, then there should be 90 degrees or pi by 2 radians phase difference. Between Fi and Fo. Okay, between Fi and Fo. When Fi is greater than or less than the free running frequency of the oscillator FFR, then Fo must change by delta Fo, which is given as Fi minus FFR. This is the change. The phase difference must increase positively or negatively to produce the necessary change in output frequency. So that is the delta phi, which is delta Fo by AL. So this is what is required. So now, if you look at the same figure again, which we started off with, so here I'll try to remove the things so as to reduce the clutter. Okay, so here this VE over here is given as K into D delta phi. So many volts. Remember, it is voltage again. This VA is given as K into delta phi into AV. Again, the units are volts. And finally, the FO is given as K D AV delta phi into KO. So many hertz. Here your output is FO. This is your Fi. Phase difference between these two is delta phi. This is actually the summary of whatever we have learned so far. See whether you have understood properly or not, guys.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so this is one important parameter, that is the loop gain. Another important parameter is the tracking range, the concept of tracking range. So B so when Fi, that is input to your PLL, changes, FO also changes to follow or track Fi. We already know that. But for each PLL, there is some kind of an upper and lower frequency limits beyond which FO will stop tracking Fi. I'll repeat that. For every PLL, there is going to be an upper and the lower limit of beyond which that output frequency will stop tracking Fi. The range of these frequencies between the limits is known as the tracking range, FTR. Okay, so this also is called as, sometimes called as, lock range. Okay, and this tracking range is given as plus minus AL into delta phi. So the maximum and minimum just a moment. Before that, I just forgot to mention that since maximum phase change or phase angle change is pi by 2, FTR maximum happens to be plus minus AL pi by 2. That is how we get the ranges. So therefore, the maximum and minimum extremes of tracking range can be calculated as FT max is FFR plus FTR, where FFR is the free running frequency and FTR is the tracking range. And FT minimum, so these are the limits, FFR minus FTR. Now, graphically it can be very easy to understand. That is what I am doing now. So you have this as the FFR, free running frequency. You have the FT minimum. You have the FT maximum. Okay. This is the voltage that is generated, VA. Or let us say VA maximum and VA minimum. What is this VA? You see this? This voltage.
Yes, sir. This voltage.
Okay. So there is a limit up to which this can be generated. Let me complete the figure. So we have some curve like this. It's rather a straight line. And this is the tracking range. Remember, this is frequency. This is voltage. All right. So we have a certain minimum and maximum range. This is called as the track range. Another important performance parameter for the PLL is the capture range. Now, if Fi is equal to Ft max, okay, that is if Fi is equal to Ft max, okay, we expect that the phase lock should occur, isn't it? Tracking range itna hai. So even if your Fi is on the boundary, let us say Ft max or Ft min,
Yes,
we
sir.
expect that the phase lock should happen, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But it doesn't. In a PLL, this doesn't happen. Okay, this happens
Yes.
because, rather, this doesn't happen because FO to get FO from FFR to FT max, we require a minimum value of VC, VE max. Or let me put it this way: if I want to create a lock, I must get a certain VE, error voltage, generated. No, if some certain error voltage is not generated, I'm not going to generate VA. And if VA is not going to get generated, VCO output frequency will not be able to change enough. So in order to generate this VE itself, I require some change. Okay, we require some VE, maximum value of VE we require, in fact, because it has to go from this point the free running point to all the way to this point. So the maximum error voltage is to be generated, no? Are you able to understand this? Guys?
So can you explain this once again? Like,
देखो, tracking range तो पता चल गया. What is tracking
yes,
range?
sir.
Fine. Now we expect, naively, we may expect that even if your Fi is somewhere around the boundary or exactly on the boundary, that is Ft max, still then, will it have a lock? That is, will
It should have
FO,
it.
will FO track Fi or get locked with Fi? The answer is no. And what is the reason why at the extremities it doesn't really happen? Because you are supposed to take the oscillator frequency right from this point to the extremity Ft max, where your Fi is there, isn't it?
Yes,
Itna
sir.
to samajh mein aaya? Okay, up to this point.
Sir, yes.
And you can see here that this is the maximum VA or maximum voltage that has to be generated. So when will this be possible? Only when maximum VA will be generated.
Yes, sir.
Only when maximum VE or VA is dependent on VE. So maximum VE is generated. But VE itself is the average output voltage proportional to average phase difference between Fi and FO. We already know that. And since Fi and FO are not same initially, the phase difference is constantly changing. Mark the importance over here. Fi and FO are not same initially. The phase difference is constantly changing. Therefore, the error voltage will always be less than VE max. समझ में आ रहा है? Okay,
yes,
I'll
sir.
put it in this way. For FO to reach Fi, which is here hypothetically Ft max, that is on the extremity of the tracking range, है ना? We
Yes, sir.
require maximum value of error voltage to be generated.
Yes.
And this error voltage is dependent on what? Phase difference between Fi and FO. But here FO is constantly changing. Initially, Fi and FO are not same, no? That is the reason why we want it to be locked. So FO is constantly changing and it is not capable of generating VE max. And so, therefore, FO will never be raised to that limit Ft max. This one. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
So we will never achieve the lock. So naturally, there is something called as the maximum capture frequency. So there is a limit again here, which says that okay, I'll reuse the figure. Your maximum capture frequency is again limited. So this is your FC max. and this is your FC min. So the lock will happen only when the frequencies are in this range. And this range now is called as the capture range.
Capture range.
So why is this acting up? Oh, something is happening here. Anyways, just use freehand. So this is the capture range. So have you understood the difference between the capture range and the tracking range?
Yes,
What is
sir.
the capture range? So whenever your signal will be only within these limits, there will be the lock. But once it is locked, it will track. Once it is locked, it will track for this entire tracking range.
Yes, sir.
But initially, in order for to have a lock, the signals have to be in the capture range of the PLL. This is very, very important concept. Last things which are remaining are the application. What exactly is the application of this PLL? You'll see that this PLL is a very versatile kind of a device. In fact, is used for various different applications. One simple application is frequency synthesis. It's also called as frequency multiplication. So I'll quickly draw the block diagram. The same thing, in fact, the same blocks we are going to use. So this is the oscillator, external oscillator. Whatever is there in blue is the PLL. So this is your phase detector. This is filter, amplifier, voltage amplifier, and VC. And this is the output, FO. And of course, you're supposed to feedback. Now, there is some change here in the feedback block or path, and that is you use what is called as a frequency divider. So whatever you get here, this is your Fi, this is Fo by N, since it is a frequency divider. So this is 1 by N divider. And the frequency that obviously that you get here is N times Fi. So what you get here is you multiplied frequency. ठीक है? So this is one application of PLL. Second application is for frequency demodulation. So you have the same blocks. I mean, PLL itself. How can you make use of this for modulating the frequency, demodulating the FM signal? Any guesses? So here you have the FM input. You have the phase detector. Output frequency is not important here. But again, this has to be fed back. Filter. This is the amplifier. This is the VCO. So the output here actually is the demodulated output. All right. So this is another use of frequency, the phase lock loop. In fact, phase lock loop is available in form of an integrated circuit. Let me quickly show you. It is called as NE565. Okay, and it is a 14-pin device IC. Okay, just check out the the data sheet for NE565. Okay, just check out as a part of your homework, I can
Okay,
say.
sir.
Just check it out. See the block diagram also. All right, just a moment. Okay, am I audible? Guys,
Yes. Yes, sir, you are audible.
lot of issues today. I don't know what's happening. Okay, anyways, I just wanted to share with you the last part, that is the simulation demo for the PLL. As you can see, I am using a virtual PLL, which is this is a model available in Multisim, and we'll see how it really works. So as I change the frequency, let us say 200 hertz, 200 kilohertz. You see the voltage over here has changed. See that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us take it back to 350. So you can see the change here. Let us take it to 400. You see the changes there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So of course this won't be that interesting. Another interesting example which I've designed for demo. What about this? Yeah, PLL as frequency multiplier. So this is an application. So there will be multiplication of the input frequency. You see that the output frequency is multiple of the input frequency. See that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just let me freeze it. So here. So this is like, oops. It is 4 times the frequency. If you see, there are 4 peaks. So every one, one period of the input signal, there are 4 periods, right? And as you can see here, that I'm actually using a divide by 4 network here, and that is the reason why I'm getting 4 times the output frequency. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So that is one application. Another application is FM demodulator. Let me see if I have, yes. So I'm using an FM source, which is a source in Multisim, and I'm trying to demodulate that. You can see that after filtering, this was your FM signal. Are you able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me change the color of this output to something else. Okay. So what I did was I modulated a 250 kilohertz signal with a 1 kilohertz sine wave, and I'm using this PLL, and then I'm using, what is this? Tell me, what is this circuit, guys? Hello, what is this circuit with op amp?
Low pass filter.
Yes, it's an active first order low pass filter. So what I'm doing is I'm removing whatever is the high pass signal, or rather the high frequency signal, and then I'm getting a very, very clean output like this. You see the, we see the use of both the two different circuits here. PLL for demodulation of FM, and at the same time filtering, the low pass filtering also.
Yes.
We see over here the application. Okay. So
Yes,
I think
sir.
we have finished with the topic now. So if there are any questions, you can ask me, or else we'll close the meeting. All right.
Yes, sir.